Welcome to the Art of Happiness. My name is Tam, and I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Erin.
Hello.
My BFF. So today we are going to talk about a hobby that you tried.
Yes.
Which was pasta making.
That's right.
Which I'm really certain I pressured you to do following your Japan trip.
Right.
Because you learned how to do ramen noodles.
That's
then,
right. That's right.
But the pasta noodles that you did this time wasn't ramen, correct?
Correct.
It was, I guess, I'm going to say traditional. Is
Yeah.
that the right
yeah,
word?
yeah, sure. Yeah.
Is that the right word? Or is it Italian?
Italian. I guess Italian noodles.
No, Italian
Yeah,
noodles?
yeah.
Okay. So what type of noodles did you try to do? Was it spaghetti, fettuccine? I'm just
Yeah.
going to list the ones
Yeah,
I know.
yeah.
And that's that. Spaghetti and fettuccine. Angel.
Well, yeah. So for sure. So I was definitely inspired by the cooking class that we took in Japan, and we made ramen noodles with the pasta maker. And it was something that had always been on the back of my mind of wanting to try anyway.
Oh.
Adam is Italian descent. We eat pasta all the freaking time.
So
definitely.
good.
I mean, it is so good.
I
and
live for pasta.
Like, he loves pasta, and he's made me a pasta lover. For better or for worse, but
our hips will tell us.
right.
Someday.
So, it's something I've wanted to try, and I think that now with social media, you see so many videos of people making it. It just didn't seem like it was too challenging, so I thought it'd be something we could tackle. We started with did some research on finding what the best machine was for rolling it out that wasn't too pricey. We ended up finding this one that was made in Italy.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. It was the Atlas 150 if anybody's interested. But it actually was very highly rated, and it was it was a little bit of an investment. I think it was about $80 or $90.
Okay.
But I do think it's something that when we got it is very substantial. It's definitely going to last.
That's great.
It's a very well-made product.
Okay.
And so the one we got has 3 noodle options to make, but you can get attachments to make different shapes and sizes.
Okay.
So, the one we got had the option to make more traditional spaghetti.
Okay.
Not necessarily angel hair. And then fettuccine and lasagna noodles. It's just flat.
Lasagna noodles. I
Yes.
didn't even consider
Yes.
that one. Okay.
Yeah. So, unbox it. Obviously, it's a very pretty machine. It's very
Is
shiny,
it one you want to
silver.
keep on your countertop
Kind
to
of.
kind of flex on
Yeah,
people that come by and you're like, that's my pasta
I make pasta, But it ended up being a really awesome trial and hobby, and I think we'll keep doing it. Making pasta dough is actually really easy.
Really?
Yeah, way easier than bread making, that's for sure. At least in my experience.
Poor starter, baby. Did you have to have a starter pasta to make it?
No, thank God.
Question. You said it's easy to make the pasta. Is it something that where you can wake up in the morning and you're like, I want spaghetti tonight, and you can whip it up?
Yes. Because you don't have to pre-make it. You actually, I think you want to make it right away. I haven't gotten too much in this, but we did find that with the actual spaghetti noodles, we didn't buy a drying rack, but it'd probably be best to have one.
Okay.
Because the noodles are so skinny, they kind of stick together.
Oh.
We found the fettuccine was easier for starting because it didn't stick together as much. And just getting the right consistency of the dough, But yes, literally, so this is kind of a silly story, but my kids were so excited about this when I opened this machine and told them what this was. They're like, can we make noodles right now?
Right.
And I was like, no, let's do it tomorrow. I'm not prepared for that. And literally, the next morning, it was Saturday, they were like, you said tomorrow. Can we do it right now? And I'm like, babe, it is 6 a.m. 6 a.m. They're like, we want spaghetti for for breakfast. I'm like,
I love that.
Okay, I guess. So literally we jumped right in, and that's how easy it was, though.
Wow.
They helped us make the dough. It's just flour, water, it's very simple, egg. And then the machine rolls it out for you, and you just keep making it smaller and smaller and smaller, thinner and thinner and thinner, and then you put it through the fettuccine part, And we made fettuccine.
That's amazing.
And we did it. It did take a little bit. It made quite the mess for the first time.
Did it?
But Adam whipped up some Alfredo, and we cooked the fettuccine, and it really does taste so much better.
You really can tell a difference in the flavor?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, definitely.
See, I guess that should be the obvious answer.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like there's been things that I've done, and I'm like, no one will tell the difference.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, see, no one can tell the difference, right? But in this case,
definitely.
it really is.
It's totally different texture, and it's different, richer, and just tastes way better,
Wow.
Yeah, and you may know this, but when you cook it, it cooks so fast, 2 or 3 minutes,
Wow.
versus
the store-bought pasta?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so then I think you already kind of alluded to this, but when you make the noodles, can you just save it for later and then make the meal later, or do you have to use it right away?
I don't remember how long you can keep it. You can keep it for a little while. I don't think you can keep it for very long.
Okay.
You know? But it's you could definitely make it earlier in the day and then cook it later.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then there's some benefit in drying like the smaller noodles, like I said, mentioned. So yeah, we haven't really perfected the real skinny noodles. We have to figure that out. I think getting a drying thing is going to be the key to that. But yeah, it's been really fun, and cleanup wasn't too bad. The machine, you just kind of rinse it off, and it's because it's not. I mean, there's not much to it. Just flour, like I said, flour, water, egg, and you clean it up, and it's delicious. So,
it sounds amazing. Yeah. So I've heard you say "we" a lot in this hobby, and which is unique for you because I feel like most of your hobbies have been very just true. You, right? When you say "we" in this hobby, was this an Adam and you hobby?
That's a good point. Yeah. Well, I mean, it was my thing I wanted to try, and I definitely spearheaded getting the equipment and doing that, but. Adam being a pasta lover, he wanted to get involved, of course.
That's great.
So, and then it was really cool because the kids could get messy, and then rolling out the pasta was so exciting to everybody.
Really?
Because when you put that flat noodle in and it comes out little
it just sprinkles out it all wired finger
it is very rewarding.
It's like a giant Play-Doh machine.
Kind of, actually. That's good. Yeah, it really is.
That's so funny. Okay, so then if this was something that was kind of more leaning towards a you and Adam hobby, what do you think the difference is between a hobby that you've done kind of by yourself versus what was a different experience that you can point out that you were aware of and doing this with Adam versus in hobbies that you've been doing by yourself?
I mean, I guess it was nice to have his support through learning something new, and then he does all the cooking, and so that was helpful too. And it kind of gave me a little safety net or something, a little bit.
Makes sense. Yeah,
because I'm timid when it comes to cooking, and I don't feel like I'm that great at it. Just something I've never really gotten into. And so having him to, he made the pasta sauce while we made the noodles, and so that was kind of nice,
Kind of like a joint effort. Yes. So you guys were almost able to kind of split apart to kind of do the hobby together with your own specific skill set, and then kind of come together.
Definitely.
That's great.
Yeah, but I mean, there's so many avenues. I think that this hobby, is definitely very more family-oriented because you are sharing the food as a family. I mean, I don't imagine that I would make the noodles just for myself necessarily.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Maybe I would. I don't know.
I was going to say, why not?
I don't know.
Maybe you just want a really banging fettuccine.
I don't, I'm not one to ever, be oh, I'm hungry. I'm going to cook noodles and make a whole meal for myself.
I relate to you on that. It's usually a bowl of cereal. I'm hungry. Where's my cereal?
Totally. I mean, me too. If it's just me, a protein bar or a snack, it's not. I'm not eating a full meal. So,
oh my goodness,
that's just I don't know. That's just how I am.
It does Adam though. If he's hungry, will you go? So Pat does the same thing.
He'll make a whole meal for himself. Yeah,
and equally in our family, Pat's the cooker. Yeah. And so if Pat's off by himself and it's oh well, you're on your own for a meal tonight. He'll come in later with this gourmet meal that I'm well, maybe I do want some of that. I mean, you got any leftover of that?
Yeah. I don't know what that is. Yeah. They don't seem to care about all the prep work and the cleanup and all that. It doesn't deter them. For me, I'm
that's what they like, maybe because that's their hobby and it brings them joy. Maybe the full experience is what brings them joy.
That's true. I mean, Adam has always said it's one of his love languages. Is just he got that from his Italian grandma.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I bet that is kind of generational and passing that down. Okay, so so when you started in Japan, you did the ramen noodles, and now you're doing Italian noodles.
Right.
Out of those two, which one is easier to do?
I mean, making the actual noodles is the same. The ramen has a lot more ingredients to make the bowl of ramen.
Oh,
there's
you mean the stuff that goes into the bowl?
Meal.
Gotcha.
Because you make the broth and whatever you put in it. The eggs or the vegetables or the chicken or whatever you put in it. You have to make all those things too.
Gotcha. Okay.
With Italian pasta, I mean, yes, you're making a sauce, and you could get elaborate with it, but it's also a lot
put
simpler.
Some Prego on
right?
It.
Exactly. Yeah. So,
which is probably where I would go if I ever
butter
I'm
and
gonna
Parmesan.
Treat myself. Here's Prego. Where's that box of noodles?
So I would say it's simpler to do the Italian noodles, and I think there's just a lot more variety too. We haven't even explored it yet, but something I want to try to do is make ravioli, make your own ravioli.
I was just gonna ask.
You can just get a ravioli press, and
if you did a stuffed noodle versus a non-stuffed noodle.
We haven't tried it yet, but I think that would be really easy because you just make the flat noodles and then you
just stuff it with what you want to stuff with.
Cookie cutter them out, basically. There's a special press you buy for the ravioli. that you can buy, but it's just like a cookie cutter kind of.
Okay. So like would
or like
it
an
just
Uncrustable. You know, like the press for the Uncrustable. Yes.
Kids live for
so
those
like
things.
That. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So do you feel like you really like enjoyed this hobby? Like, do you think this is something that you'll keep doing?
Yeah, I do.
That's fantastic.
I do. I think it'll be something that's kind of in the background, like let's make homemade noodle for dinner, kind of.
Oh yeah, like a special
thing.
night.
Yes.
Let's like stay in and eat and have like a really good meal.
Definitely.
So not that I'm like offended, but I kind of am.
I know.
I'm fairly certain in my last episode I demanded to be invited to dinner.
I know.
And I just can't help but
make
hear
that happen.
how I wasn't invited. Your kids got it at 6 in the morning. How dare you take care of your children before me?
Should I have called you at 5:45 and said, "Come on over, come over right now"?
I would have said, yes, I would like to Buddy the Elf my breakfast. I want spaghetti and meat sauce. Make sure there's some syrup.
All right.
So upset.
I know. It's been such a busy time. I know this time of year just gets so busy, but we need to make that happen. It would be fun to do a family pasta night.
Oh, that would be really good. Almost like a Friendsgiving-y kind of thing. Do you like how I just assaulted you with like aggression on this podcast episode to get you to trap you into inviting
I'm totally fine with it. I need that pressure,
I love it.
Yeah.
So do you feel like for those who are listening to this and trying to decide on how to if they want to do this as a hobby, do you feel like this was a very expensive hobby? Do you feel like it can really
I think obviously expensive is a different term for other people.
Sure.
Relative term. However, we were able to give. Once you have the machine, that is the most expensive piece.
And you said it's pretty durable, right? You don't have to worry about this thing breaking after 2 uses.
No, it's heavy duty. It's made in Italy. I'd imagine it's well crafted. It seems very well crafted. So yeah, $80. Obviously flour and the ingredients are extremely cheap. You probably already have them in your house.
Oh, great.
And you're gonna reuse it over and over and over again. So yes, I feel like it's not. If you plan for it and you really want it, it's not actually that expensive if you think of long term.
Yeah.
And you don't have to, once you have it, you don't have to keep buying anything for it.
That's great.
Yeah. So yes, if it's something you're wanting to get into, the one we bought, the Atlas 150, seems like a really great machine. And you get on Amazon. That's where we got it.
Yeah.
I think it's very easy to you open the box and you start doing it.
That's great.
Yeah. And from somebody who has very little cooking skills. It turned out great.
I was going to ask that too, based off of the skill set.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it was a low barrier to entry? Really?
Definitely.
Do you think taking the class in Japan kind of gave you a little leg up in
I do, not because of the skill, but because of the confidence. Because just seeing somebody walked you through it and you're like, wow, this is actually easy.
Gotcha.
It was okay, I could definitely take this skill and do it. So yeah, there is something about that, the confidence. So, if you're hesitant about it, you can find the same video, a whole video on YouTube or something.
Oh yeah.
But definitely local cooking class too would be a great place to start if you can find something like that.
Just get that one-off class.
If you're worried about it,
the basics.
We talk about all the time how it's really about just getting your foot through the door.
Yeah.
And then the rest,
getting yourself out there, challenging yourself.
Just do it. Start small. Just start. And then you get that nervousness, you kind of overcome that with time. And each time it gets a little easier when you try something new, right?
It really does.
Yeah. So
that's fantastic. It's really shocking to me that this is one of the more successful hobbies for you, because I feel like you've tried a couple of baking ones or cooking ones, and you've been like, it's not for me.
Yes, it's so true.
And so to hear that this one really has been positive for you, and not only has it been positive, but you're ready to move on to the next level. That's got to feel really exciting to kind of have something. And also that you kind of talked about how your kids kind of were messy in this one, but the way you talked about it was more of just it happens. Whereas back with Starter Baby, that mess was really stressful.
That's so true. That's a good point.
So there's so much growth that you've done in the last 7 months that we've been doing this alone.
That's a great point, TM. I think that I've tried to get a lot more. It has made me more relaxed about the mess. And I don't know why.
Yeah, because it was a huge stressor in your first one. You were like, it's not worth it. I'm not cleaning this up. Whereas in this one, you're like, we were messy. Yeah. It was 6 a.m. It was fun. It's noticeable the difference in your tone and feel of this particular type of cooking dish versus, you know, back when you were trying your other ones. I just find that really interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
It's the hobbies, you know. They
just bring you joy. It's so weird. Somebody should start a podcast about that.
I mean, just start a hobby. It'll change your life.
It'll change your life. Okay. So, you know, we always try to rank, you know, how we feel about these things. So, like, out of engagement, enjoyment, skill development, social interaction, stress. Yeah. Where would you rank this?
I mean, I think I would give it 5 out of 5. I mean, really, I totally saw that coming. I don't think there's anything I would downgrade on it. You know,
sound so Susie Homemaker, and I mean that in the best way.
But like I've never seen.
I know that's the crazy thing is it's like it's such a weird aura coming from you, and like you and I share in the fact that we don't. We're not kitchen women. Right. But like here you are, and like deep in it because you're making from scratch, and you're just like elated, and you're like messes make family memories, and it's just so weird, but like in a really great way.
I'm a whole new person.
You are a whole new person. I kind of like, I almost I need to see it. Yeah. Like I need to see it in action.
You know, we really should do a night we can, like, you guys come over and we do a pasta making thing.
I think that would be so much fun. I'll bring my Play-Doh machine because I don't know how to cook or do anything.
Well, the cool thing is, like, we can make the dough and we can just, like, make the noodle, you know, roll it through. And you don't have to, like, do that whole process.
I'm going to want to see how it looks.
And the kind of fun thing is, too, when you make the noodles is you don't just dump the whole box in. You know, you kind of do it in batches, like
so like you drop it like for each plate.
And they cook, kind of.
Okay, so it's like who's ready, dropping this noodle, moving on.
Yeah, so it is very it can be very interactive. So I think it's a cool hobby. So I hope that maybe this inspires anybody who's been thinking about trying pasta making or something that you want to get into cooking and getting in the kitchen. I think it's a good way to start.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. All right. Well, thank you for listening to Erin's Hobby Today.
Yay. Thanks for joining us. We hope you join us again on The Art of Hobbiness. If you want some hobby inspiration or just want to
just hang out with us.
Just laugh a little bit. Find some joy, happiness, be inspired. If you enjoyed our podcast, we would love for you to follow us and leave us a review. We're also on social media, so we love to connect with you on Instagram. It would make us very happy, so please do.
Talk to you soon.
Yep. Bye.
Thanks for listening to The Art of Hobbiness. Be sure to leave a review and rating. And for a little extra Erin and Tam fun, be sure to follow us on Instagram and Pinterest for behind-the-scenes footage of our journey to find hobbiness.